$5 million. All my savings. Everything I had. I gave it to my son, Michael. He said he wanted to start a tech company. Said this investment would secure our future, and I believed him, because he's my son, because I trusted him. But 6 months later, his company went bankrupt. He said the market was bad, said he was sorry, and I believed him. Until one day, a strange woman knocked on my door, said her name was Lisa, said she was Michael's wife. Wife? Michael is married to Jennifer, so who is this woman? And when I discovered the truth, when I found out Michael had been living a double life for 10 years, another wife, 2 other children, another house, and spent all $5 million of my dollars on that secret life, my world fell apart. Listen, baby. Sit down and breathe. Because what I'm about to tell you is going to break your heart. It's going to make you question everything you think you know about family, about trust, about the children you raise and love with everything you have. This is a story about the cruelest betrayal, not from a stranger, not from an enemy, but from the child I gave life to, the child I sacrificed everything for. And I need you to stay with me till the very end, honey, because this story will change how you see the people closest to you. My name is Eve. I'm 62 years old. And 2 years ago, I discovered that my son, my only child, the boy I raised alone after his father left, had been living a double life, with a second family I never knew existed, funded entirely by the $5 million I'd given him to start his business. Let me take you back to where this began. My son's name is Michael. He's 38 years old now. I raised him by myself from the time he was 5, when his father walked out and never came back. I worked 2 jobs to put Michael through college. Worked myself to exhaustion to give him opportunities I never had. And he turned out well, baby. Got a degree in computer science, married a lovely woman named Jennifer. Had 2 beautiful children, my grandchildren, Emma and Noah. He worked in tech for years. Good salary. Stable life. I was so proud of him. 5 years ago, Michael came to me with an idea. Mom, I want to start my own company, a software startup. I've been working on this technology for years and I really think it could be huge. I was excited for him. That's wonderful, sweetheart. What do you need? Capital, startup funding. I've talked to some investors, but they want to see that I have skin in the game, that I believe in this enough to invest my own money. How much are you thinking? He hesitated. $5 million. My heart sank. $5 million was everything I had, baby. My entire life savings. Built over 40 years of working, saving, investing carefully. My retirement fund. My security. My safety net. Michael, that's everything I have. I know, Mom. And I wouldn't ask if I didn't believe this was going to work. This technology is revolutionary. Once we launch, we'll have investors lining up. Within 2 years, you'll get your investment back plus returns. I'm talking $20–30 million. But what if it fails? It won't. Mom, I've done the research. I've built the prototype. This is going to work. And I want you to be part of it. I want us to do this together. He looked at me with those eyes. The same eyes that had looked up at me when he was 5 years old and his father had just left. Please, Mom. I need you to believe in me. How could I say no? This was my son. My only child. The boy I'd sacrificed everything for. If I didn't believe in him, who would? So I said yes. Transferred $5 million from my retirement accounts into Michael's new company. Tech Vision Solutions, he called it. He gave me paperwork. Made me a 40% shareholder. You're not just an investor, Mom. You're my partner. When this takes off, we'll both be set for life. I believed him. The first year seemed promising. Michael would update me regularly. We're making great progress. Hired a development team. Building out the product. Talking to potential clients. He'd show me charts and graphs I didn't really understand. But he seemed confident, excited, busy. Jennifer seemed supportive, if a bit stressed. He's working so hard, she'd tell me when I'd visit. Barely home, always at the office or meeting with investors. The kids missed their dad, but Jennifer would say, it's temporary. Once the company takes off, he'll have more time. But after 18 months, things started to feel off. Michael became harder to reach. Wouldn't return my calls for days. When I'd ask about the company, his updates became vague. Things are progressing. Just dealing with some technical challenges. Can I see the office? Meet the team? Not right now, Mom. We're in a sensitive phase. I'll bring you by once we're more established. Then came the bomb. 2 years after I'd invested, Michael called me. His voice was shaking. Mom, I need to tell you something. The company, it failed. We're bankrupt. My blood ran cold. What? The technology didn't work the way we thought. We ran into problems we couldn't solve, lost our investors, had to shut down. But the $5 million. It's gone, Mom. All of it. I'm so sorry. I couldn't breathe. How is that possible? How do you spend $5 million in 2 years with nothing to show for it? Salaries, development costs, office space, legal fees, it adds up fast in a startup. I want to see the financial records. They're with the lawyers handling the bankruptcy. It's complicated. But Mom, I'm so sorry. I really thought this would work. He was crying. My son was crying. And despite the devastation, despite the rage building in my chest, part of me wanted to comfort him. Because that's what mothers do. But another part of me, the part that had worked 2 jobs for years, the part that had saved every penny, that part was screaming. Michael, that was my retirement. That was everything I had. I know. And I'll pay you back. I'll get another job. I'll work as hard as I need to. It'll take time, but I'll make this right. How long? I don't know. Years, probably. But I promise, Mom, I'll fix this. I went home that day in shock. Called my financial advisor. Is there anything I can do? Any way to recover the money? If the company is bankrupt, you'll be in line with other creditors. But typically, early investors lose everything in bankruptcy. I'm sorry, Eve. I'd gone from a comfortable retirement to having almost nothing. Had to get a part-time job at 60 years old just to pay my bills. Had to sell my house and move into a small apartment. My entire life downsized because I'd trusted my son. Michael got a new job. Started paying me back. $500 a month. At that rate, it would take 834 years to repay $5 million. But it was something. A gesture that he cared. That he was trying. So I accepted it and tried to rebuild my life. This went on for 6 months. And then one Saturday morning, someone knocked on my apartment door. I opened it to find a woman I'd never seen before. Mid-30s. Blonde. Exhausted looking. 2 young children standing behind her. Can I help you? I asked. Are you Eve, Michael's mother? Yes. I'm Lisa, Michael's wife. The world tilted. Michael's wife? No. Jennifer is Michael's wife. She laughed. A bitter, hollow laugh. Jennifer, right. The first wife? First wife? What are you talking about? Can I come in? This is going to take a while. I let her in because I was too confused to do anything else. The children, a boy and a girl, maybe 6 and 8 years old, sat quietly on my couch. Lisa stood in the middle of my small living room and said, I've been married to Michael for 10 years. We have 2 children together, Tyler and Madison. And I had no idea you existed until 3 days ago when I found his other phone. My mind couldn't process what she was saying. That's impossible. Michael is married to Jennifer. They have 2 children, Emma and Noah. I know. I've seen the photos on his other phone. Your son has been living 2 completely separate lives, 2 wives, 2 sets of children, 2 homes. How is that even possible? He told me he travels for work, gone 3 or 4 days a week. I thought he was on business trips. Turns out he was with them. I sat down before my legs gave out. Why are you here? Because I just found out that the house we live in, the car I drive, the kids' private school tuition, all of it was paid for with money he supposedly invested in a startup. Your $5 million. The room spun. What? She pulled out papers from her bag. Bank statements, property records, tuition receipts. The house was purchased 2 years ago for $1.8 million, cash. In his name, the timing matched exactly when I'd given him the $5 million. The cars, the furniture, the kids' school. He's been spending hundreds of thousands of dollars on this second life. And I had no idea where the money was coming from. He told me he got a huge bonus, a promotion. I believed him. I looked at the children sitting on my couch, my son's children, my grandchildren, who I'd never known existed. Does Jennifer know about you? I asked. I don't know. I haven't contacted her. I came to you first because I found your number in his other phone listed as Mom. I figured you deserved to know what he did with your money. We sat there for 2 hours, comparing stories, timelines, piecing together how Michael had managed this. He'd told Jennifer he traveled for work, told Lisa the same thing, but instead of traveling, he'd been going back and forth between 2 families. 3 days with Jennifer and Emma and Noah. 3 days with Lisa and Tyler and Madison, living 2 complete lives. For 10 years. How did no one figure this out? I asked. He's careful, meticulous, keeps everything separate. 2 phones, 2 email addresses, 2 social media accounts. He told me he didn't believe in social media, so I never looked for him online, never saw photos of the other family. But birthdays? Holidays? How did he manage? He'd rotate. Christmas with one family, Thanksgiving with the other. Said he had to work on the holidays he missed. I thought I'd married a workaholic. Turns out I'd married a sociopath. She stood up. I'm divorcing him, filing tomorrow. But I wanted you to know what he did with your money. What about the startup? Was there ever a real company? I don't know. But I found the property records, I found the bank statements. That money went into houses and cars and tuition, not a business. After she left, I sat in my apartment, staring at nothing. My son had stolen $5 million from me, used it to fund a secret second family, lied to me, lied to both his wives, lied to everyone. And I'd believed every word. I called him immediately. He didn't answer. I called again and again. Finally, on the 5th try, he picked up. Mom, I can't talk right now. Who is Lisa? Silence. Long, heavy silence. Who told you about Lisa? She came to my apartment. With your children, your other children, the ones you never mentioned. Mom, I can explain. Explain? Explain? You've been living a double life for 10 years. You have 2 families, and you used my $5 million to pay for it all. It's not like that. Then what is it like, Michael? Because from where I'm sitting, you stole my life savings and used it to play house with a woman I didn't know existed. I was going to tell you, he said weakly. When? After you'd spent every penny, after you'd ruined my retirement? I got in over my head. It started as just, Lisa and I had an affair, she got pregnant. I couldn't just abandon her, so I helped her, got her a place to live, paid for things, and then it became easier to just maintain both lives. Easier? Easier? Do you have any idea what you've done? I was trying to take care of everyone. You weren't taking care of me. You were stealing from me. I gave you some of it back. $500 a month. That's not paying me back. That's an insult. He started crying. I'm sorry, Mom. I'm so sorry. I never meant for this to happen. It spiraled out of control. There was no startup, was there? Silence. Michael, was there ever a real company? I was going to start one. I really was. But then Lisa needed a house and the kids needed school and Jennifer wanted to renovate our place and I couldn't say no to anyone. So I used the money to keep everyone happy. I hung up. Couldn't listen to another word. My son, the boy I'd raised, sacrificed for, loved unconditionally, had stolen from me. Deliberately. Systematically. For years. Jennifer called me the next day. Eve, I just found out about Lisa. From her lawyer. She's filing for divorce and I'm named in the paperwork as the other woman. Except I'm not the other woman. I'm his wife. We've been married for 15 years. I know. I'm so sorry. Did you know about this? Not until yesterday. He used your money. For them. For that house. I saw the records. $5 million. I know. She was crying. I feel like I don't even know him. How could he do this? How could he lie to all of us for so long? I didn't have an answer for Jennifer. Because I didn't understand it either. How does someone live two complete lives? How does someone look their mother in the eye and steal everything from her? How does someone do this for 10 years without guilt destroying them? Jennifer and I met for coffee the next day. We needed to understand. To piece together the full picture. When did you meet Lisa? She asked. Yesterday. She showed up at my door with the kids. Kids. He has 4 children. 4. And I thought it was just Emma and Noah. Did you suspect anything? Ever? She thought about it. There were times when he'd be distant, when his schedule didn't quite make sense. But he always had explanations, always had a work excuse. And I trusted him. Why wouldn't I? He's my husband. He told me the company failed, that the $5 million was gone. There was no company, was there? No. He used it for the house, for Lisa, for that whole other life. Jennifer pulled out her phone. I've been going through our finances, really digging. And I found things. She showed me bank statements. He's been transferring money from our joint account to another account I didn't know existed. 50,000 here, 30,000 there. Over the past 5 years, he's moved almost $400,000. On top of my $5 million. On top of your $5 million. My salary, our savings. All of it going to maintain this double life. What are you going to do? Divorce him, sue him, I don't know. What can I do? He's destroyed everything. Lisa filed for divorce first, citing fraud, bigamy, and financial deception. Jennifer filed 3 days later. Both women sought full custody of their children and demanded Michael repay everything he'd stolen. I filed a lawsuit too, for the return of my $5 million, plus interest and damages. Michael tried to claim bankruptcy, said he had no assets, no money, nothing to give back. But we had proof. Property records showing the $1.8 million house in his name. Bank statements showing hundreds of thousands in accounts. Investment portfolios we didn't know about. He'd hidden money everywhere. The legal process was brutal. Took 8 months just to get to a trial. During that time, Michael barely spoke to me. Would only communicate through lawyers. The few times we did speak, he'd say things like, "I'm the victim here too. I was just trying to make everyone happy. You all put so much pressure on me. I couldn't say no. I never meant to hurt anyone." Never a real apology. Never accountability. Just excuses and self-pity. The trial revealed the full scope of his deception. Investigators traced every dollar of the $5 million. $1.8 million, house for Lisa and the kids. $400,000, cars, furniture and renovations for Lisa's house. $600,000, private school tuition for Tyler and Madison. $300,000, vacations, gifts, and living expenses for the second family. $1.2 million spent on Jennifer's family, house renovations, kids' activities, lifestyle expenses to keep up appearances. $500,000, his own expenses, clothes, gadgets, maintaining 2 separate lives. $200,000, business expenses that were actually personal purchases. Total accounted for $5 million. Nothing invested in any real company. Nothing that would generate returns. Just gone. Spent on maintaining an elaborate lie. "Mr. Peterson," the judge said to Michael, "you systematically defrauded your own mother. A woman who sacrificed everything to raise you. Who gave you every opportunity, and you repaid her by stealing her life savings to fund a secret second family. Do you understand how morally bankrupt that is?" Michael stood there, silent. "Your Honor, my client was under tremendous stress," his lawyer began. "Stop. I don't want to hear excuses. This is one of the most egregious cases of financial elder abuse I've ever seen. The judge ruled in our favor on everything. Ordered Michael to repay me the full $5 million, plus interest, totaling $6.2 million. Ordered him to repay Jennifer $400,000 he'd stolen from their joint accounts. Ordered him to liquidate assets to begin repayment immediately. Both divorces were granted. Jennifer got full custody of Emma and Noah. Lisa got full custody of Tyler and Madison. Michael got supervised visitation only. But winning in court didn't mean getting the money back. Michael appealed, delayed, made excuses. "I don't have that kind of money. The house is underwater. The assets are tied up." Lies? More lies. But proving he was lying took more time, more legal fees, more energy. Jennifer and I became unlikely friends through all this. 2 women who'd been betrayed by the same man. Who'd both lost years of our lives to his deception. "I keep thinking about all the times he looked me in the eye and lied," Jennifer said one day over coffee. "All the times I believed him, trusted him. How stupid was I?" "You weren't stupid. He's a professional liar. He fooled all of us. But I lived with him, slept next to him. How did I not know? Because he's a sociopath. That's what the psychologist said, right?" As part of the divorce proceedings, the court had ordered psychological evaluations. The psychologist's report was chilling. "Mr. Peterson demonstrates classic signs of narcissistic personality disorder with sociopathic tendencies. He shows no genuine remorse for his actions. His expressions of regret are performative, designed to garner sympathy rather than express true understanding of the harm he's caused. He views his victims, including his own mother and wives, as objects to be manipulated for his benefit." Reading that report, I realized I'd raised a monster. And I kept asking myself, how? When did he become this person? I thought back through his childhood, looking for signs I'd missed. He'd always been charming. able to talk his way out of trouble. There was the time in high school when he'd stolen money from my purse and convinced me I must have spent it and forgotten. The time in college when he'd used my credit card without permission and claimed it was a misunderstanding. Small things. Things I'd excused because he was my son. Things I should have recognized as red flags. Lisa reached out to me 3 months after the trial. I need you to know something. I'm not innocent in this. What do you mean? I knew he was married. He told me about Jennifer from the beginning, said they were separated, that the divorce was almost final. I believed him because I wanted to, and then I got pregnant and I thought having his baby would make him leave her, would make him choose me. But he never did. No, he just kept both of us. And I let him because I loved him. Or I thought I did. Now I realize I was just as much a fool as anyone. She told me more about how controlling Michael had been, how he'd isolated her from friends and family, how he'd made her financially dependent on him. He'd give me money for groceries and bills, but I never had access to the bank accounts. Never knew where the money came from. I thought he just made a good salary. He was spending my $5 million on you. I know, and I hate that. I hate that I benefited from your pain. If I'd known, would you have done anything differently? She was quiet. I don't know. Maybe not. I wanted to believe his lies. We all did. The kids were the real victims in all this. Emma and Noah, Jennifer's children, were 14 and 12. They'd learned their father was a liar and a fraud, that half their childhood had been a performance. Tyler and Madison, Lisa's children, were 10 and 8. They'd learned they had siblings they'd never known about, that their whole family was built on lies. All 4 kids were in therapy. All 4 were struggling to understand why their father had done this. I tried to have relationships with all of them. After all, they were all my grandchildren. But it was complicated. Emma and Noah had known me their whole lives. But now they associated me with the lawsuit, the pain, the family falling apart. Tyler and Madison were strangers to me. Children I'd never met who existed because my son had betrayed everyone. How do you build a relationship with grandchildren who represent your son's deception? Michael's assets were eventually seized. The $1.8 million house was sold. His cars, his investments, his possessions, all liquidated. In total, we recovered $2.3 million. $2.3 million out of the $6.2 million he owed me. Plus another $200,000 for Jennifer. The rest was gone. Spent. Unrecoverable. This is all we can get, my lawyer told me. He's declared bankruptcy now, legitimately. There's nothing left to take, so I've lost almost $4 million. Yes. I'm sorry. But at least you got something back. Something. $2.3 million. Better than nothing. But not enough to restore my retirement. Not enough to give me back the security I'd spent 40 years building. I'm 62 now. Still working part-time. Living in a small apartment. Budgeting carefully because I no longer have the safety net I once had. I'll probably have to work into my 70s. Maybe longer. Because my son stole my retirement to fund his secret life. Michael lives in a studio apartment now. Works a regular office job. Pays court-ordered child support to both families, though it's a fraction of what he should be paying. Sees his kids twice a month under supervision. Has no relationship with me at all. I haven't spoken to him in over a year. Don't plan to. Some betrayals are too deep to forgive. Jennifer rebuilt her life. Got a good job. Bought a modest house. Focused on raising Emma and Noah. She's dating someone new. Someone honest and kind. I'm learning to trust again, she told me. slowly. But I'm getting there. Lisa struggled more. She'd been a stay-at-home mom, financially dependent on Michael. Now she's working retail, living paycheck to paycheck, barely making ends meet. I wasted 10 years on him, she said. 10 years I'll never get back. And now I'm starting over with nothing. The kids are adapting. Emma and Noah have met Tyler and Madison a few times. Supervised meetings arranged by therapists. It's awkward. Painful. But they're trying to build some kind of sibling relationship. Because none of this is their fault. They're all victims of Michael's selfishness. People ask me, how do you move forward after something like this? And honestly, baby, I don't know. Some days I'm okay. Functional. Able to see that I still have my health, my mind, my ability to work. Other days I'm overwhelmed by rage. Rage at Michael for betraying me. Rage at myself for being so blind. Rage at the situation. At the unfairness of it all. I went to therapy for a year. You're experiencing complicated grief, my therapist said. You're grieving the loss of your money, yes. But you're also grieving the loss of your son. The boy you thought you raised doesn't exist. The man he became is a stranger. That's a profound loss. She was right. I mourn the son I thought I had. The boy who'd hug me tight and say, "I love you, Mom." The young man I'd been so proud of. That person was an illusion. The real Michael was always the man who could steal from his own mother without remorse. I just didn't want to see it. I've learned things about human nature I wish I didn't know. That people can lie without guilt. That charm can hide cruelty. That even your own child can see you as nothing more than a resource to exploit. That love isn't always enough. Jennifer and I still meet for coffee sometimes. Two survivors trying to make sense of what happened. "Do you think he ever really loved any of us?" she asked once. "I think he loved what we could give him. Me, money and validation. You, respectability and a picture-perfect family. Lisa, excitement and escape. But us, as people? I don't think he was capable of that kind of love. That's so sad." It is. But it's the truth. The court-ordered restitution continues. Michael pays me $1,000 a month now. At that rate, with the $2.3 million already recovered, he'd have to pay for 325 years to repay the full amount. I'll be dead long before I see that money. But the payments continue as a reminder that he did this, that he owes this debt, even if he never fully pays it. Last month, Michael tried to contact me, sent a letter through his lawyer. "Mom, I know I've hurt you beyond measure. I know you may never forgive me. But I want you to know that I think about what I did every day. I'm in therapy. I'm trying to understand why I made the choices I made. I'm trying to become a better person. I'm not asking for your forgiveness. I don't deserve it. I'm just asking you to know that I'm sorry, that I wish I could undo everything, that I love you, even though I have no right to say that anymore." Michael. I read it once, then burned it. Because words are cheap. And Michael's words are worthless. The hardest part wasn't the money. I know that sounds strange, baby. Losing $5 million should be the hardest part. But it wasn't. The hardest part was losing my son. Not the man he became, the monster who stole from me, but the boy I thought I'd raised. The son I'd loved unconditionally. That loss, the loss of who I believed he was, that's what broke me. My therapist said I needed closure. Needed to confront Michael one final time. Not for him. For me. To say everything I needed to say. So I arranged a meeting. Neutral location. My lawyer present. Just in case. Michael showed up looking thinner. Older. Tired. He sat across from me at a conference table and couldn't meet my eyes. "Thank you for agreeing to see me," he said. "I didn't do this for you. I did it for me." "I understand. Do you? Do you understand anything you've done?" He finally looked up. "I think about it every day. What I did to you, to Jennifer, to Lisa, to my kids, and I hate myself for it." "That's not enough. I know." "I need you to explain something to me," I said. "How does a person do what you did? How does someone steal from their own mother and not feel anything?" "I did feel something." Don't lie to me anymore. The psychological evaluation said you're incapable of genuine remorse, that everything you do is manipulation. So I want the truth, Michael. For once in your life, tell me the truth. Did you ever feel guilty?" He was quiet for a long time. Then he said, "No, not at the time. I felt stressed, overwhelmed, afraid of getting caught. But guilty? No. I justified everything to myself, told myself I deserved the money, that you'd given it to me freely, that I was using it to take care of my families. At least it was honest." "When did you start planning this?" I asked. "When did you decide to steal from me?" "I didn't plan it, not at first. Lisa got pregnant and I panicked. I needed money for her, for the baby. You'd always told me if I ever needed anything, you'd help. So I came to you with the startup idea." "There was never any intention of starting a real company?" "There was, initially. I thought I could take some of the money for Lisa and still build the company. But then she needed more, and Jennifer wanted to renovate our house, and the kids needed things, and I kept taking more until it was all gone." "And you never thought to stop? To tell me the truth?" "How could I? You'd have hated me. Everyone would have hated me. It was easier to keep lying. Easier for you, not for the rest of us." "Why did you come back asking for money in the first place?" I asked. "You had a good job. You were making decent money. Why did you need $5 million? He looked down at his hands. "Because Lisa wanted a house, wanted security, threatened to tell Jennifer about us if I didn't step up, and I couldn't let that happen. So I needed a large sum fast. You were the only person who had that kind of money. So you manipulated me, played on my love for you." "Yes." At least he was admitting it now. "Do you love them?" I asked. "Jennifer, Lisa, your kids, anyone?" He thought about it. "I love my kids, as much as I'm capable of loving anyone. But Jennifer and Lisa? I don't know. I liked the life I had with each of them. I liked being the person they thought I was." "Does that count as love?" "No. It doesn't. I didn't think so." "What do you want from me now?" I asked. "Why did you ask for this meeting?" I wanted to say I'm sorry, face to face, not through lawyers. I wanted you to see that I know what I did was wrong, that I've destroyed my relationship with you, that I've lost everything that mattered. You don't get absolution from me, Michael. I'm not going to tell you it's okay, that I forgive you, that we can rebuild, because none of that is true. I know. You stole my retirement, my security, my peace of mind. You made me question everything, my judgment, my worth as a mother, my entire life. You don't get to feel better about that just because you said sorry. I know. Are you really in therapy? I asked. Yes, twice a week. Court ordered. Is it helping? I'm learning things about myself, why I make the choices I make. But it doesn't change what I did. No, it doesn't. I stood up to leave. Mom, he started. Don't call me that. What should I call you? Nothing. We're done, Michael. This is the last time we'll speak. You'll continue making your court-ordered payments. You'll continue seeing your kids on the supervised visitation schedule. But you and me? We're finished. I understand. I walked to the door, then turned back. You know what the saddest part is? I would have helped you if you'd told me the truth. If you'd come to me and said, Mom, I made a mistake. I had an affair. Lisa's pregnant. I need help navigating this. I would have been disappointed, hurt, but I would have helped. Instead, you lied, stole, destroyed everything. You chose the worst possible path. And now we all have to live with the consequences. That was 18 months ago. I haven't spoken to him since. Probably never will again. But life goes on, baby. I'm 62, working part-time, living in a small apartment. It's not the retirement I planned, not the life I'd spent 40 years building toward. But it's my life. And I'm making the most of it. I volunteer now. At a senior center, teaching financial literacy. Never give large sums of money to family members without proper documentation, I tell people. Even if you trust them, even if they're your children. Protect yourself. I tell my story as a warning. Some people thank me for the honesty. Others look at me with pity. But I don't want pity. I want people to learn from my mistake. Jennifer and I are still friends. She's doing well now. The kids are adjusting. Emma is in college. Noah is thriving in high school. They have limited contact with Michael. They're angry at him, Jennifer says. And I don't push them to forgive. That's their choice to make. Lisa is struggling more. She's still working retail, barely making ends meet. Tyler and Madison are having behavioral issues. Acting out in school. Fighting with other kids. They're so angry, Lisa told me during one of our rare conversations. They feel like their whole childhood was a lie. And I don't know how to help them. Therapy, I suggested. I can't afford the good therapists. We're on a waiting list for county services. I sent her some money, not much. Just enough to cover a few therapy sessions for the kids. Why are you helping me? She asked. After everything? Because those kids are innocent, and they're my grandchildren, and someone needs to help them. I see Tyler and Madison occasionally now. It's awkward. They don't really know me. But I'm trying to build something with them. The same way I'm trying to maintain my relationship with Emma and Noah. All 4 kids are victims of Michael's choices. They deserve to have family who shows up for them, even if their father didn't. Last month, Emma asked me a question that's been haunting me. Grandma, do you think Dad is capable of change? Of becoming a better person? I didn't know how to answer. I think people can change, I finally said. But they have to want to, really want to. And I don't know if your dad wants to badly enough. Do you think he loves us? I think he loves you as much as he's capable of loving anyone. Which might not be the same as the way you and I understand love, but it's something. She cried. I wish he was different. I wish he was the dad I thought he was. I know, baby, me too. The financial recovery is slow. The $2.3 million I recovered is invested conservatively now. It generates some income, not enough to fully retire on, but enough to supplement my part-time work. I'll probably work until I'm 70, maybe longer if I can. It's not what I planned, but it's what I have. People ask me if I regret giving Michael the money. Of course I do. But I also know that if I hadn't, I'd have spent the rest of my life wondering what if. What if I'd believed in him? What if his idea had succeeded? What if I'd missed out on helping my son achieve his dreams? At least now I know. Now I know exactly who he is. And I don't have to wonder anymore. I've learned harsh lessons about trust, about family, about the limits of love. I've learned that the people you trust most can hurt you the deepest. That blood doesn't guarantee loyalty. That sometimes the child you raise becomes someone you don't recognize. But I've also learned about resilience, about my own strength, about the ability to rebuild after devastation. I survived this, baby. Lost almost everything and survived. Started over at 60 years old. That's not nothing. Jennifer said something wise the other day. We can't change what happened. We can't get back the years we lost or the money he stole. But we can choose how we move forward. We can choose not to let his betrayal define the rest of our lives. She's right. Michael made his choices. Now I make mine. And I choose to live, to keep going, to find joy where I can, to build relationships with my grandchildren, to help other people avoid the mistakes I made, to prove that I'm more than what was done to me. The $1,000 monthly payments continue. Every month, I get a check from Michael. Court-ordered restitution that will never come close to repaying what he owes. I don't cash them anymore. I put them in a separate account, saving them for Emma, Noah, Tyler, and Madison. For their college funds, their futures. Because this money came from my stolen retirement. And I wanted to go toward something good. Toward giving those kids opportunities. Even if their father destroyed everything else, at least this money can help them. Last week, I got a call from the court. Michael had petitioned to reduce his monthly payments. Claimed financial hardship. My lawyer fought it. Your Honor, Mr. Peterson stole $5 million from his elderly mother. He's paid back less than half. He owes a debt that will take lifetimes to repay. Reducing his payments sends the message that elder financial abuse has no real consequences. The judge agreed. Payments continue at $1,000 per month. Not much, but something. A reminder that actions have consequences. Even if those consequences aren't proportional to the crime. I think about forgiveness sometimes. Wonder if I should try to forgive Michael. For my own peace of mind. For my own healing. My therapist says forgiveness is a choice, not an obligation. You don't owe him forgiveness, she says, especially when he's not truly remorseful. Forgiveness without accountability is just enabling. So I haven't forgiven him. Maybe I never will. And I'm okay with that. But I have forgiven myself. For being too trusting. Too naive. Too willing to believe in him. For not seeing the red flags. For not protecting myself better. That forgiveness, forgiving myself, that was the hardest work. But the most necessary. I'm 62 now. Working part-time at a bookstore. Living in a small apartment. Budgeting carefully. It's not the life I planned. But it's my life. And I'm making it work. Some days are hard. Days when I think about what I've lost. What could have been. Days when the anger rises up and threatens to consume me. But most days are okay. Days when I have coffee with Jennifer. When I see my grandchildren. When I help someone at the senior center avoid making my mistakes. Days when I remember that I survived. That I'm still here. That I'm stronger than I knew. Michael's betrayal taught me something important. That you can lose everything, money, security, trust, even your child, and still survive. Still rebuild. Still find meaning. The loss doesn't define you. How you respond to it does. So if you're listening to this, baby, and you're going through something similar, if someone you love has betrayed you, stolen from you, destroyed your trust, know this. You will survive. It won't be easy. It won't be quick. It won't be the life you planned. But you will survive. And you'll be stronger for it. Not because the pain makes you stronger, but because choosing to rebuild, choosing to keep going, choosing yourself, That makes you stronger. My name is Eve. I'm 62 years old. My son stole $5 million from me to fund a secret second family. I lost my retirement, my security, and my relationship with my child. But I didn't lose myself. And that's what matters most. Final reflections. Trust, but verify. Even with family. Especially with family. Love doesn't mean blind faith. Protect yourself, even from the people you love most. When someone shows you who they are, believe them. Don't make excuses for unacceptable behavior. Your financial security matters. Don't sacrifice your future for anyone, not even your children. Some betrayals are unforgivable. And that's okay. Forgiveness is not mandatory for healing. Document everything. Get proper legal agreements. Protect yourself with paperwork. You can survive devastating betrayal. You're stronger than you think. Rebuilding is possible at any age. It's never too late to start over. Your worth is not determined by what was taken from you. It's determined by how you respond.